early on. So 2018 was when I did the very first reading. Now, let's all go back to 2018 for a moment. That was a long time ago. I just did a table read. I got an email one day that said, would you be interested in this? There was a movie done of Joy's life. I watched the film and I said, I will be there. Tell me what time. So not really knowing what it could be, I fell in love with this story. And then I had a daughter myself. And I was pregnant when I did the second reading of it. No one knew. So I was telling the story with like an actual like little girl in my belly. And I felt like, oh my gosh, now I know what it's like. And then all of a sudden I was singing the songs through the pandemic, because the thing about this music is once you hear it, you cannot get this music out of your head. It's so beautiful. It's like pop. It feels theatery, but it's pop. I mean, it's so glorious. And I remember thinking, I'm going to do this show after the pandemic. I would sing this stuff. I was a mom who was like running a business in COVID. And I found so many similarities between myself and Joy. And then I said goodbye to it for a little bit. I got a show called Anne Juliet, and I said, I have to go do this. And this show was still kind of simmering and working. And then the craziest part is when it came back to me, now is actually the time that I feel like I can bring my full, unique self to this. And here's the thing. My performance in 2018, the version that you are going to see me do on this stage is nothing like the version, because only when I believe you have lived through some of these things can you bring that depth. Yeah. And I think what's so exciting for me is, you know, and you have shows like Waitress, right? You have shows like Anne Juliet that I've been so lucky and like privileged to do. And so much of those shows are spent, though, getting kind of the men out of the way to discover yourself. This show, and then Curtain, right? And then like, yay, she has the diner now, and then Curtain. And that's the journey. And it's a beautiful journey, though. This show is like Curtain up. She's in the weeds. And then we watch this complete, stunning, full evolution of this woman. And I'm standing there on stage with a little girl, and I am just fully weeping because it's so special to do this show. And I could never have done it 6 years ago when I first did it.
Oh, well, I play Toots, Joy's mom, and it's funny, I relate a lot to her in many ways. You'll see, it's not so easily relatable, but she's a mother hen. I mean, at the end of the day, she's worried about her daughter, and she has dysfunctional ways of expressing that. But I can understand that. I mean, I just got into it this morning with my son about wearing a raincoat. I understand the need to not want your child to get hurt in any way because you've learned from pain. But she has a beautiful, spoiler alert, she's a beautiful arc. Yeah. And let's say she starts from a place of perhaps incorrectly suppressing her pain or covering her pain, and there's an arc there.
So I'm playing Rudy. I'm playing Joy's sort of, charming, good-natured dad. I think what I love about him is he's a really imperfect dad. And as a dad, I understand what it's like to kind of try to be a perfect dad, but inevitably fail. And this is a guy who means well, who but he's a little blustery, and he's a little self-serving and a little selfish, and tries to make up for it in whatever way he can with kind of unexpected results. So I think I empathize with Rudy's conundrum and trying to win back the heart of his daughter.
I play Christy, Joy's daughter, and she's very sassy, and I love that because it gives me a chance to be sassy and fun, but also she has such an inspiring story in herself. And I think she has a really special relationship with her mom, and that's definitely something I can relate to. I have a special relationship with my mom, and I feel like it's just a really inspiring story that needs to be shared. And it's really magical, too, to be a young teenager that's becoming a girl. And, it's really kind of an amazing way to show how she's getting older and all of that.
I play Tony, who is the ex-husband who resides in the basement, who is this aspiring musician, songwriter, the singer, who hasn't quite made it yet. And I think he continues to chase that dream despite it. And I think that's relatable to a lot of people, you know, like not giving up on your dreams. And I think in that way, even though it's hard for him, it's inspiring to see someone like that. And then you see someone like Joy, who's doing the same thing, who gets put in this position where she can now be able to chase this dream because she's dealing with like her financial situation and all that. But then something that she's been doing for so long, finally, she can like form this dream into a reality, and it's quite inspiring. So.